LoA on predictions. Arc passive. Say, well, those aren't predictions, right? Because 1640 arc passive is already confirmed, basically, right? They already said that they're going to be doing that. New solo raids for sure, right? Solo raids, Thaemine, and I think even Echidna. And then we also have new class, right? I mean, I think new class is basically confirmed, but let's, instead of saying new class, let's say new class into or release within a month. And I'm gonna say it is going to be new class archetype. So it's not gonna be like, you know, a gender. It's not gonna be a gender swap. It's gonna be an actual new class. I have a feeling it's a male specialist. I don't know. I also don't think it's a female gunner. As much as we might think that it might be a gunner because of the book, I think Winter is. I think Winter will always be a new class archetype. Did they tease it in the book thing? They did ish, because the book said that there was a slot that was reserved for a new class, right? So it's like, you know, they have this thing where they had the class book, and then it's basically like male warrior, male warrior, male warrior, male warrior, female warrior, right? Female martial artist, female martial artist, female martial artist, female martial artist, male martial artist, male martial artist. So if we go male gunner, this should be another male gunner, male gunner, male gunner, female gunner, right? It should be a male gunner if we're going by that logic, but I also feel like they probably just put this here to make it symmetrical. Like, you know, having the thing in the middle. It's just symmetrical, you know what I mean? Did they say alchemist? No, alchemist they confirmed was not a thing. Male delayed and mage wear. I mean, I don't know. At this point, I feel like they might not, but they might never come out with a male assassin or male mage. Pirate does seem very likely. Because it's kind of like within like the rangery archetype, right? It's kind of like a ranger-ish class. So I think it's a possibility that's a pirate class that plays with like a flintlock, like a, what is it called? A flintlock pistol? Yeah. I also think there's going to be some sort of vertical system nerf. Maybe it's going to be Transcendence. I feel like they're just gonna nerf the gold, which would suck. But I feel like Smilegate would do that. Advanced honing nerf? I don't know. Maybe. It's a possibility. But by how much? I don't know. Like, will it make a big difference? I don't know. I don't think they're touching elixirs. I think they're just eventually just gonna phase that shit out and just forget it even existed ever. Of course, there's always gonna be a new raid, right? New raid? It's probably not Kazros. Probably going to be another Legion commander. So we've gone through Vaulton, Akan. We've gone through Brel. Who's left? We have Clown. And we have Vicus. I think it's going to be a new Clown raid. It's because, like, if you think about it this way, right? Usually it's, what is it? It's going to be, Vaulton was 8-man raid, Vicus 8-man raid, then Clown is a 4-man raid. Then we had Brel, and then we had Kaya, and then we had Akan, then we had Ivory Tower as a 4-man raid. Then we have Thaemine, Echidna, and then we had a 16-man raid, right? So it's like changing up the numbers. And it's another 8-8, so Egir, Brel. So we basically go either 1 raid or 2 raid before they change up the number of people that's required for the raid. And if we think about it, what they've done with the theme right now is bringing back old Legion commanders. It makes sense that they bring back Clown for that. You guys don't like 4-man raids, really? I think 4-man raids suck when they're like abyssal raids, but I think the Clown 4-man raid was fun. What else is there? Maybe mini games? Question mark? Like what they were talking about way back in the day with like the Vaulton on top of like or Argos on top of the Vaulton thing, like kind of like that. Because like during the director stream, right? They said when they were talking about like the anniversary island for them, they were like, if you guys take a look at this anniversary island, our updates going forward are going to be following this kind of theme, right? And it kind of makes me think about horizontal. I mean, of course, there's going to be some new vertical system that comes with a raid. What else is there? I mean, I'm gonna be honest, right? The last LoA on prediction, I had so much shit. Let me see if I can pull up my last LoA on prediction, right? LoA on prediction, right? Solo raids, boldest gate removal, third awakening, new strike raid, new class teaser, honing buff, music composer, elixir transcendence nerf, right? Entropy set changes, yearning set changes, which they did end up doing with our tier 4. LOS cars to vendor, which I don't remember they did. Behemoth changes, they never did that. Engraving swap QOL, which is tier 4 arc passive. Transform class rework, which was, I mean, every class got reworked pretty much. So there are a lot of issues right now, but it's not localized. Yeah, it's hard for me to really say, right? Maybe they'll do some sort of like honing nerf, regular honing nerf. I don't think they will though. It's too early. Oh, you know what? 1610 or 1600 to 1620 honing nerf. I think they're gonna do that. 1600 to 1620 honing nerf. I think that makes sense. Because I think they still haven't done enough of it. I still think it's way too hard to get from to 1620. I'm gonna be honest, right? I don't think they're updating the silver honing at all yet. 1540, 1580 cost silver. I don't think so. I think they're gonna do two honing nerf, right? They're gonna do 1540 to 15 or 1600 nerf, along with a 1620 to 1620, 1600 to 1620 nerf. You know, and this is not a prediction, but this is a wish list, right? We do another section, a wish list, right? One of my wish list items is remove fusion materials up to gold honing. So basically, fusion materials are irrelevant up until 1540 right now. That would be so good. I don't think they'll ever fully remove fusions, but I really want them to remove fusion materials up to gold honing, because right now, any new player trying to push up an alt is always going to be gated by fusion materials because they're just so expensive, because they're all tied to trade skills. This is not going to happen, right? But, you know, let's put it on the wish list because I know it's not going to happen. Class change ticket. I don't think they're going to do it, though, is the thing. I just don't think they're going to do it. They have gone a hard stance about class change tickets, and it's just not going to happen. Now, they might do... What about this? Extreme Vicus. 1-3 or 1-2? I think it would be 1-3. Because it's kind of like hell mode, right? Like, what are our pain points right now? Other than these ones. I just don't think there's that, like... Surprisingly, I just feel like there's not that many pain points. Islands? They might, because it has some new islands, right? Minigames. They probably will add a new island, right? New islands. They pretty much always add new islands. I just don't care about them. Card, and this is a confirmed. Card changes. Dailies give cards. And that is confirmed. I mean, honestly, I was saying this the other night, and this is another wish list. Traveling merchants always have legendary cards. I think it's stupid that at this point that we have to like RNG whether or not they give the cards out of it. I think that they should, if the traveling merchant appears in that map in Annika, it should always have weight. If that traveling merchant appears in, you know, whatever that Volus map is, it should always have, you know, Varkin or Vergus or whatever. It'll never happen. That's why it's on the wish list, right? That's not why it's on the predictions. That's why it's on the wish list. Well, the thing is, Miser, nobody's buying card packs for these cards, for the Traveling Merchant cards. Nobody buys the cards for the Traveling Merchant cards. So I don't think they're making any extra money if those cards are always up on the Traveling Merchants. They'll announce Gold Nerf and Thaemine, and they'll reduce the gates. Because, like, at its current state, I feel like Thaemine gate 1 through 4 just gives you so much gold compared to other raids. And because of that, it's kind of like throwing off, like, the raid gold balance. You know what? I think you're right. I think you're right. Thaemine Gold Nerf. It might not be a Gate 4 nerf. It might be a 1 to 3 nerf. Like, what was that they're going to replace Elixirs with a new system in the next raid, Arc Passive Phage? I don't think so. I think they've learned their lesson. I personally think they've learned their lesson that they do. Like, the thing is, right? The reason why Elixirs and Transcendence came up is because players in Korea were tired of the old honing system. They're like, we're tired of just, like, you know, pressing this button and playing the slot machine, right? We want something else. And that's why they introduced Elixirs and Transcendence, which Korean players liked at first when they were doing it 1-2 characters, but when they're doing it more characters, then it becomes tough, right? So I think they've learned, like, both the players learned and the devs learned that that type of system is not good. Now, they might add another type of system that's not just honing, that is different than just tapping the button. But my hope is that they've learned how to make it less annoying for people so they can do it on multiple characters without burning themselves out. Maybe it'll be like a bolster to your arc passive. Like an arc passive enhancer. Like, you know how, like, our current system in arc passive, you have levels, right? You have, like, levels, and it gets, like, level 3, level 2 right here, right? They'll have, like, a separate thing here, and then you can select one arc passive to add something extra, or, like, make it super, like, an extra power boost. Additional arc passive for weapons? True. True. Weapon does not have an arc passive thing yet. It does not affect any of these trees, right? They could have an additional thing for the weapon, and that's going to be a new vertical system. Weapon arc passive. I mean, I think this makes sense. I think the list that we have right now is probably the extent of what they're going to do. Now, they're probably going to do stuff that's not on this list. I would 100% predict that they're going to do stuff that's not on this list. But I think that in terms of what we can predict right now, reasonably, this is probably the extent of it.